Oh,
this
no.
will be decided on...
Oh! Did he?
Whoa! Oh my God!
These are the climaxes we love. MVL playing with black in the final round of the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz, and if he wins the whole thing plus $40,000. Fabi just needs to draw. Let's check this one out here and the full clip to come. Now D4 played. Fabi doesn't want any sharp Sicilian stuff. Knight f6, c4. Will MVL play a Grunfeld, which he loves? Well, no, he goes for e6, knight c3. Fabi invites a mainline Nimzo Indian, and Maxime declines with the QGD, Queen's Gambit declined. What's he going for here? Because after knight f3, how are you going to mix it up with black? Well, he plays c6, and after e3, knight b to d7, bishop d3, well, black reveals the point of leaving this bishop looking miserable, stuck inside the old party hat formation. Black takes on c4, and after bishop recaptures, b5, vamos, push those pawns down the board. This is a variation close to my own heart. I've been playing it for 10 plus years, inspired by the great Vachier-Lagrave, a real strong player in this stuff. Now, a6 played. You can also go bishop b7 there. We get castles. You can go e4 in that last position. Gets quite sharp. Now we see c5 on the board. d5 played in response, and there's no time to kick this knight, or white takes here. You're on this one. So we see pawn captures, this knight takes back, and now bishop b7 pressures that centralized knight, and so Fabi takes on f6 with check. And of course MVL here, he recaptures with the queen to keep attacking What? He takes back with the knight. He allows Fabi to take the queens off the board. So obviously Fabi, only needing to draw, now takes off the lady. What? He goes a4. He does not go for the endgame here. He's got that opportunity to do so. I mean, WWMD, what would Magnus do? He loves an endgame. Fabi keeps those one on the board. What's he thinking? Because after b3, we now get bishop d6. And suddenly, this is a game. Fabi had this solid position. Could have got the queens off. Hopped this knight round to the c4 outpost. But after bishop b2, castles, black starts getting some chances here in just a moment. So Fabi goes h3. He sets up the old bathtub pawn formation here. Lovely structure. Try it yourself. The knight's chilling in the tub. But there's a problem, because after knight e4, look at the black minor pieces compared with the white. They're just more active. These squares controlled by black pawns. This one going to be under black's control soon, because after queen c2, we get queen e7. Fabi brings this rook to the d file. Maxime does similar, and after bishop c4, keeping an eye on any f5 breaks, we'll now hear MVL just plays a slightly inaccurate move. Shows his sense of feeling for the position isn't as strong as maybe the Grunfeld. So he goes knight g5, taking those knights off, activating the queen. Very natural. But the computer prefers, say, bishop c7 or bishop b8, maybe looking at queen c7 soon to set up the battery. But we see this one played. These knights now come off. Queen recaptures. Mate threatened on g2, but Fabi gets this f4 move in. Now, yes, it weakens this pawn, but you drive back the queen. If queen g3, by the way, then simply queen f2 can be played. And after queen e2, covering this pawn, bishop c7, rook fe1. Although you've got this weakness that has to be covered, look at the difference now. These bishops are the ones firing. These ones have been slightly blunted. Well, not so much this one, but the other one. And with the knights off the board, there's less attacking chances. So we get king h8 played. Now queen g4 threatens mate. The reason the king sidestepped is now you can move the f-pawn, block the mate threat. You know, you couldn't do that before, but possibly f5 was a more double-edged move. Worse with the computer running it, but it doesn't allow queen e6, taking the queens off the board, which finally Fabi does play. He's trying to steer this towards a draw, but there's a long way to go. We see bishop e4 played. This one drops back to c4, pawn a5, king f2 and h5. Fabi doesn't want to allow that pawn to clamp, so he pushes with g3. King h7, now king e2, slightly weird looking move, but it steps off the f-file and prepares to start trading on d3. We get king g6 and now bishop d3, and we get some ping pong on this d3 square here. Captures, 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 captures. I'm going to put Agadmator out of a job at this rate. Now check, the king steps back, and here's a great move from MVL. He wants to mix up the position. Yes, he's level material, but how do you generate chances? So bang, he chucks a pawn with c4, captures is played, but now he's generated a passed pawn. And look at this, after bishop b6, Fabi says, I'd rather be active and equal than better and passive. So he immediately chucks that pawn right back. He is not going to get admitted to the pawn grabbers club anymore after that move, because now after rook c1, it's level material, but he has activated pieces. Now he goes g4. We get pawn takes, pawn recaptures, and now b3 from MVL. That one could become weak. You know, rook c3 immediately played, but it's not just about that pawn. Defended here, but it's about the distraction of that pawn, because now MVL is looking for rook b4, targeting the a pawn, and even if it's rounded up one day, he's got ideas of going after the g pawn. So rook c4 now played to stop rook b4. We get bishop b4 on the board, king d3, rook h8, switching back, great geometry from MVL, and after rook c1 now, rook h4 targets that g-pawn, and Fabi, great move, just abandons it with bishop d4, centralizing that sniper. Now the pawn drops, but rook b1. This rook comes to g2. It's on a switcheroo, round to a2. We get captures here. The rook slides across, and MVL has successfully outplayed Fabi in this late middle game, early end game phase. Because here, the pawn is dropping off, and what do? And Fabi now changes the structure. The computer wants to leave this one and start moving the king, something like that. Prove that black can make progress over here. But e4 now played, the rook captures on a4, rook b1 back, important move because you don't want to allow the exchange of rooks. Those endgames are really dodgy. You know, the king starts marching around here, this king's distracted over here. So that's why the rook drops. Now we get king f7, rook c1, check played, king c4, and bishop d2. Great move, hitting those 2 points. Rook f1 defends. This rook slides to the right, looking for rook h4. So Fabi now takes a committal decision, not the computer's favourite either. It wants f5 here, play that structure. But Fabi goes rook a1, going for the a5 pawn. This one drops, and now here MVL makes a bad blunder. He plays bishop to e3, but this is an unprotected piece. Fabi simply could have gone rook a3 here, and after bishop captures, you take the rook, it's a dead draw. But he misses it. He drops back with bishop c3, and now after bishop f2, MVL sets up a filthy tactic, because you want to liquidate this pawn here. Go pawn to e5. But can you see the nasty tactic he's set up if Fabi had played this move? So well done if you found the move of rook takes on c3. King recaptures, and that is a nasty skewer, completely lost game. So Fabi, he sees that one. He pushes the rook to a light square here, but it's not the most accurate move. You know, coming back one, he should have checked first maybe, then dropped the bishop to a1, then looked to push e5. The problem with this is this great move of rook e3, and how do you defend the pawn? If you come with the king like this, then g5, and this one is coming really fast. Not good for white. And if instead, what else can we try? You go like check. Well, now actually you can get round defend the pawn. This is one possible way to do it, because after the king steps, you go rook e7, and if the king tries to stay with the square, well then you check and you still do something like this, or this and this. So that was one way to cover, but Fabi didn't see it. He pushed on the pawn here, and now after captures, assess the position. MVL is simply 2 pawns ahead. This is a lost endgame, but phenomenally, after bishop d2, we get a huge blunder here. Check out this clip.
Oh,
This
no.
will be decided on...
Oh! Did he?
Whoa! Oh my
The rook
god!
was trapped on e2.
He played rook e2 and lost.
The rook.
Oh, this is a draw now.
Yes, Fabi will
He's
be
gonna.
our
Oh my
winner.
goodness! And Fabiano Caruana is the winner of the St. Louis Rapid and Blitz.
So what an incredible finish to the game. What's the problem with this move? Well, as you saw, once you get to here, there are no available squares. You've got to give up rook for bishop. It's just a dead draw. So what should have been played? Well, rook f3. It just keeps all the pieces on. Excuse me. This is a lost endgame. Their MVL should have been taking first prize. But this is high stakes blitz chess. Fabi takes the event. Congrats to him. And we move into the Sinkfield Cup from tomorrow. Smash subscribe not to miss it. And check out the video on screen for another epic game of chess. Thanks very much for watching, and I hope to see you soon.